But, doggone it, man, that peak play on the left side, that's indicating 100%. That's overmodulation for those peaks. But at least it's not always overmodulated. Let me turn that down some more. We're working about 100% negative peaks and about 150%, 160% positive peaks. Hey, Dirty, around Nashville. There we go. It's all cleaned up now. Check that out. Morn-Motormouthmaul cruising. 5 kilohertz of bandwidth and perfect asymmetry. A whole lot of audio.
Signals going this way, that way, and every which way.
Yeah, 10-4, that's the VFO wind-up mod. That was done a long time ago. What happened was it got popular. Hey, 799 up there around Illinois, I heard you up there as well. That got popular back when everybody ran tube radios, Johnson's and all that. And there was an associated thing that, if you had a tube radio, you could tell because the VFO would drift. When you keyed down the frequency, the voltage would sag, and the VFO would drift, and it would bing. It was slide on the frequency, and as you had other carriers out there, it would beat against those other carriers in the receiver, and you would hear the bing. And then they'd wait for that to happen, and then they'd talk. Well, then solid-state radios with PLLs and all that, it didn't have that problem. And so, and crystal control stuff, it was right there. So you lost that sound. So we deliberately will mess up the voltage on the VCO so that it drifts. It starts off, let's say the voltage is supposed to be 8 volts or whatever it is, and we started off by letting a capacitor charge up, and it sucks the voltage down for the time it takes to charge the cap. And so as it charges the cap, it gets closer and closer and closer to being on frequency. And so we mimic the VFO wind-up with the, and so a lot of people have that now. And I made it pretty popular. I'm not the one who invented it. It was done before. Matter of fact, before I did it, Fireball even had it long before. And but anyway, people wanted to know how, so I kind of let the cat out of the bag and told people how to do it. Made it possible, not possible, but, shared the information. And now everybody seems to have a VFO wind-up. So anyway, some of them got it on a switch. Sometimes you'll hear somebody key up, they'll throw a carrier, and they'll be right on frequency, and then they hit the switch, and you hear an actual audible, which is not really the way it works. There's no sound. The VFO wind-up is silent. It's the beating of it against the other carrier and the receiver that gives the sound. Anyway, sorry for the long key down. I think I've been keyed down for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's one thing that I guess was good about this little radio. It lets you key down for a long time without it barking at you. Anyway, high stepper, Morn-Motormouthmaul cruising. 1 fat watt at a time. Tin-4. That's why the first run of the modulator had the 4, and I'm even using them now on this one, but the 4 1 and 41, 48 diodes in H configuration. You hit them with audio, and the harder you hit them, the more they start to flat top. And so they soft clip. It sounds good. It sounds kind of warm, and then you have a buffer amplifier after the fact to bring the level back up again after you do that. So you clip it a little bit with the diodes, and then you bring the level back up, and it gives it that warm sound, kind of like overdriving a tube section in an old modulator section of an old plate modulated radio or something. Like the bass guitars and the instrument guys with the amplified instruments, they'll deliberately roll up one of the stages to drive the tube into soft clipping to give that warmth, that sound. It's a distortion. It's obviously a distortion, but it's a sound that people like. And when I first came up with the modulator, Prime was saying, "Oh man, that's great. It's got the fidelity, it's got bandwidth and everything, but it's too clean." What do you mean too clean? And he described to me the sound that he was, that he wanted to see up in there. And I thought, oh, I see what you want. You want to mimic the tube type stuff, So I did the soft clipping combined with the modulator, and man, oh man, that was the hot ticket. So anyway, all right, hey, high stepper, Motor-Mouthmaul, stepping.
Pizzas for the wheels on my hoopty. Push it around in the backyard, but they get soggy like the doggy. The wheels get soggy. See you there, 799.
Hello, audio.
410. All right, I'll be back on the side.
You're right. We are going to need a...
Hey, 404 Topeka. You smoking over here. 404 around Topeka, Kansas. Motor-Mouthmaul waving.
See you over there.